Hi, it's Thad with Willoway. It's September 8th. I want to talk a little bit about crab apples. Not something that you would traditionally think about. We think a lot of times in spring with the flowering, but fall is a great time to look at highlighting some of the fruit in some of these crab apples or form and structure. The other thing is being in a pot, and our pot and pot profile here is you can plant them now. So as you got landscape jobs that come up, it's before the dig. These will transplant real readily, so that's important. Two that I have here with me right now are the Lollipop Malus Lollipop, which is a great dwarf. It's a real rounded head, slow grower, real nice dark green foliage, really clean, good disease resistance to it. Small persistent fruit that gets kind of a yellow with a blush on it of red. Really nice plant there. And then Malus Sargentina, which is a dwarf. This one's more horizontal a little bit, but still a dwarf. Really nice. Both of them get white flowers in the spring, but this one will have more of a reddish small fruit that's persistent through the winter. So even after the leaves drop on these, you'll still see the fruit on there. It will dry up over the winters and birds will feed on it all through your winter months. So it really gives you several seasons of interest. Another crab apple we have on the farms is green spear. If you haven't heard of these, there's raspberry spear, which is more of a purplish foliage. What I really like about it is the high disease resistance. As you can see, really beautiful, clean foliage here. It's a really nice upright. But the other thing is it has a huge display of fruit in here. So as you can see, there's a lot of fruit. Again, persistent, which means it's going to stay on. It's going to dry on the plant. But a really nice winter. You can see it's starting to get that blush to it right now, that pinkish red blush to it that will stay on. So a lot of your, what you find is a lot of the birds that stay through the winter will feed on this. Robins in the spring will come to it. But this is a really easy for the grower aspect too, is being disease-free, or cleaner, should say. It needs less sprays, looks better, easier to take care of, maintain as far as from growing aspect. Creates a healthier plant, less disease problems. So like I said, this is a really great one. If you haven't tried these, you may want to bring them on and really talk about that color that you're going to get from the fruit in the winter. Hi, I wanted to kind of we're getting into the season where we're getting cooler nights. That's going to start driving plants to start to shut down a little bit, and also start to bring on some color for fall. So one of the things you're starting to see in red maples is you can see some of the new growth is starting to show a little bit of that red in it. As we get cooler nights, more and more will start to show. This is a great time to be looking at these plants and getting them on for fall color. This is Frank's Red 2-inch. So you can see we're really nice branching, ready to go. This also can go right into the landscape as far as planting and not having to wait for digging in the fall. I think it's important. Fall is a great time to plant. We get more rain, cooler, and it establishes the plant before you go into winter. So when it comes out in spring, you actually maximize your growth. So it's a great time to build a lot of your talking points as far as sales go at the garden center, or even for pushing for landscape jobs to get the stuff planted and get your customers. So also to extend your season a little bit farther into the fall. Easy to handle too, so really nicely rooted here, so you're not dealing with a lot of loose roots or having to stake the plant excessively to hold it up. So move over to another bed. This is Metasequoia or Dawn Redwood. This is a deciduous evergreen, so it means it's going to drop all its needles. It gets a fall color, kind of a yellow russet color. So not known for its fall color, but one of the things is when you need a hedge in the summer and you want light to come through in the winter, this might be a good choice for that. Can grow in a little bit wetter areas or moist soil, not super wet. Maybe bald cypress would be a better choice in that location. But one of the things I want to just talk about a little bit is we have a really nice crop of them. As you can see, sheared about 8 foot. So a great plant to think about for getting out in the landscape purposes, and using as a plant that's underutilized in our landscapes. Relatively disease and insect free, so not a lot of problems hit this as long as you site it at least properly, I guess, and not stress it out overly. So a great plant, Metasequoia. Wanted to continue on with Growing Degree Days. We're at 2791 here in Avon. So we're really kind of winding down the season on insects. There are still some borers that are kind of out there, but they're really kind of waning down right now because they would be inside the tree if they're going to overwinter, or they've already exited and put in a life cycle. So a couple things we got to look for here in the fall is really one of the things we're worried about at the nursery here is with these cooler nights and these dews is a resurgent in fungal pathogens. So powdery mildew, downy mildew are things that we're concerned about right now. Those can come up if we don't have the water at the right times. So really, we don't want to do nighttime watering. We really want to limit how late in the day we water. And as the cooler temperatures come on, the water demands go down. So that kind of starts to balance itself out in the nursery. So more concerned is kind of going towards that disease side. There are some plant pests that come back. Now aphids become one of the plant pests that become more prevalent here in the cooler temperatures. Spider mites start to kind of wane off. That's not really what they like. They don't like cool and moist conditions. They like that dry hot. So there are things you can do to combat aphids besides the traditional sprays. We use lacewing larvae as a biological control. We put cards with eggs on them, and they hatch out and feed, and they're voracious feeders on aphids. So if you haven't used green or brown lacewings, that might be a choice too if you have small areas that you want to control. You just basically take these cards off. It pulls like a pull tab, and you set it down on the plants that you want to release at, and they clean up pretty fast most of your problems with aphids.